Welcome to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. Don't go away. We have a very special guest from Summerwood Sports Complex and how that's being used to impact children right here in Central Arkansas. So don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. I'm your host, Perry Black, and on this show we have a very special friend of mine, Ryan Feagin. Ryan, welcome to Second Chance TV.
Thank you.
Ryan has been involved in the ministry here for a number of years and likes me anyway. So Ryan, tell me a little bit about you. Here on this show, obviously you've been on it before. Some people may recognize you from being on before. So tell me a little bit about you. Where did you grow up? How did you come to faith? Were you always saved? Were you once a sinner? Any of those kind of information you want to share with our audience?
Yeah, I'm Ryan Feagin. I'm originally from Houston, Texas. I've lived here for 25 years now. But anyways, I've lived here since the late 90s.
Why did you move to Arkansas?
My brother had moved here, and he needed a roommate, and I was doing nothing good. So,
how old were you back then when you moved here?
20.
20 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, around the age of 21, I left Jonesboro because of sin and moved here to get a new beginning because I'd given my life to the Lord. So, did you find geography moving from one city to the other, did it have a positive or negative impact in your life?
For me, it was negative. I just picked different people to sin with. Lived in Bryant for, I don't know how long have I lived here, 20 years now. Married my wife here 15 years ago.
How many kids y'all have?
We have 4 kids together, or 4 kids. She had 2 before we got married. I had 1, and then we have 1 together. 4 daughters. Yeah, my daughters are actually the reason we started coming to church here. My 2 oldest daughters.
They came to our summer camps.
They did.
And somewhere along the line, I looked up one Sunday morning at Family Church Bryant, a church of lives worth the drive, and lo and behold, there's a couple sitting there, and the guy was kind of glaring at me. Was that you?
Yeah, I didn't like you.
Hey, tell the audience about that, because you were really making a real transition. You were raised Baptist and still a sinner. Your wife was raised Spirit-filled Pentecostal. Mm-hmm. And you're sitting there. So tell us about, why did you come to Family Church? Because all this ties in together as to why you're involved at Second Chance Youth Ranch.
Well, we originally started coming here because our kids. Then you really irritated me, and I was determined to prove you wrong. And I just kind of came back out of irritation.
Week after week.
Week after week.
And I would read the Bible. And what'd you find?
That you didn't like sin. It was really annoying. It was, because I still really enjoyed it. I was kind of in that middle stage where I was trying to find God, I guess. I was really just trying to find something better, but I really didn't want to do nothing different.
And how do you spell sin? F-U-N. It just always costs you more than you want to pay.
That's right.
And at the end of sin is death, but it sure seems to be fun on the front end until you start paying for it.
And it was fun for a while. It ended up not being fun, but me and my wife really made a commitment to changing our life and giving our life to Christ. And through that, we really started hanging out at Second Chance Ranch and hanging out with those kids.
How many years ago did you start coming to church? 8 or 10?
Here?
Yeah.
No, my cousin's 13. I think it was right before she was a year. So we've been here
12
She's
years.
about to be 14. So we've been here 12 or 13 years.
So for the audience, tell me what happened as far as the real shifting in, okay, this guy's really ticking me off. Every time I come, I'm going to prove him wrong. He keeps sharing the Bible, and God's talking to you. What happened? Was there a day, a time?
Yeah, there was an event, I guess you would say. I was still acting pretty bad, and I came home one night in one of those bad ways. My wife prayed over me for 8 hours. And I woke up that morning and called you, and you prayed with me on the phone because it was Sunday morning. I wanted you to come over, but for some reason you thought you needed to be at church.
Yeah, I had to
morning.
work.
Yeah. And anyways, we've never turned around. We've never looked back. We've just taken off with Jesus from there.
So you had even though you had started coming to the church, so we're indicating that imperfect people can attend Family Church Bryan.
Yes, absolutely.
Come as you are. God will change you.
That's right.
He loves you the way you are. He just loves you too much to leave you that way.
Thank God.
So, but you said your wife prayed for you for 8 hours because you had come home from sin and you were asleep.
We'll go with the sleep. Yes, I was asleep heavily.
And she prayed, laid hands on you and prayed for you.
For 8 hours straight.
Yeah, I was watching Mark Hankins the other day. He was talking about pleading the blood of Jesus. He said his mama said, there's nowhere in the Bible that it says plead the blood. She said, I don't care what you say, son. I plead the blood over you. Now, of course, he's been in international ministry for decades, known all over the world, because his wife prayed for him, just like Candy did for you.
She did.
So we got 20 seconds. What would you tell anybody watching right there in camera 2 if they are where you were? You got 15 seconds.
God's way is better.
Yeah.
It just works out better. His way is the right way, and you don't have to be miserable. Joy and peace comes with the Lord, but you got to do it His way.
You don't have to sedate yourself with drugs and alcohol or the world. We'll be right back.
mission field around you is filled with young hearts needing a forever family. And at Second Chance Youth Ranch, our team is committed to providing healthy, stable, loving homes and families to hurting children in the Arkansas foster care system and those up for adoption. Please contact us if you feel the tug at your heart to help foster or adopt, and find out the steps you could take to help fulfill a child's lifelong dream. Maybe you can't foster or adopt, but you could help. The need for thousands of children in the system is staggering. But with the help of faithful partners and business alliances, we are meeting those needs right now. Would you help us make a difference? Every gift, regardless of size, impacts a child's life directly and helps provide for a home in the gap right now. Visit the Second Chance Youth Ranch website at 2cyr.org to read more, watch the stories, and to make a contribution for a hurting child's care. Monthly partners are needed, so please contact us right away. And as you partner with this ministry, you are partnering with the Heavenly Father that has promised to be Father to the fatherless. God bless you for helping Second Chance Youth Ranch.
Hey, welcome back to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. On this show, we've got Ryan Feagin with us, and if you missed the first portion of this show, Ryan, we ended that last segment with just the fact that Jesus is a life-changing, transformational Savior.
Absolutely.
So for 12 years, you've been coming to Family Church. At what point did you get involved at Second Chance Ranch?
Well, you know, I was going to Sunday school here, and Billy Hubbard,
Daily Operations Director, he and Rachel.
He kind of befriended me, and then from there it just kind of took off. Me and my wife started, we would just pick a ranch kid to take to lunch after, on Sunday afternoons after church.
Now, wait a minute. You started coming to the church, started attending small groups.
Yep.
And Billy and Rachel, he befriended you. Were you perfect?
No.
Did you need a friend? Did you need a God-seeking, God-chasing friend?
Yes.
And where'd you find that?
Right here.
At church.
At church, in Sunday school. Or life group. You have to call it life group.
So already in 2 seconds, less than 9 minutes, we've addressed the fact that you can go to church if you're imperfect. You can go to church if you need a friend. You can go to church if you're pursuing God, because God's pursuing us. One author said that He is the hound of heaven, and He has sought you out, found you. So you made a friend with Billy.
Yes.
Tell me more about that and how that
it just kind of transitioned into the ranch, and we
You went out there?
We did go out there, and it's y'all need to get a closer ranch. But we went out there. We've been out there a couple times.
Well, we do have a closer ranch, sort of, because here on this 25-acre campus, we now have 4 foster homes.
yes, we'd like to help out there a lot more.
And we have 2 on Smithers, one that we will complete November of 2023. And those foster parents will be moving in. We're up to about 64 kids, and we've got multiple houses in Saline County and Pulaski County. So we do have not only the 300 acres, but we also have all these houses in town. So, but we do need a closer ranch.
Yes.
But you know, I made a mistake about 25, 30 years ago. I said, Lord, I need acreage that's relatively isolated, no more than 45 minutes from my home and the church. And he answered that prayer specifically. It's 45 minutes from where I live, it's 45 minutes from the church, and it's 300 acres surrounded by 40,000 acres of forestry. So you need to be wise, and when you pray a specific prayer.
Yes. Pray for straight roads in 12 minutes.
That's exactly right. So y'all started inviting some of our foster children. Y'all got approved, went through the process, and you started having some of the foster kids come over.
Yes. Actually, you know, the very first foster kid we had come over, we didn't have to get approved. My daughter became friends with one of the foster kids, and she just said, Dad, can Christina spend the night? And I called Billy, and he goes, I don't know. Nobody's ever asked a foster kid to spend the night. So we got with DHS, and they said, no, foster kids can do normal what any kids do. Yeah. So we had one spend the night, and then we started taking them to lunch, and then, you know, it just kind of transitioned to there.
Our goal at Second Chance Ranch is to make living in foster care, which is traumatic enough, as normal of a family life as possible. They have their own home, they have their own family, their foster parents, they eat in their home, they go on vacations together, they go to church together, they do what a family does. So that's pretty cool. So we're also finding out that our viewers, there is a place for them to serve within the foster care system through our ministry, through Arkansas Baptist, Compact, that we all have programs where volunteers can be involved in various aspects of fostering.
Yeah, we went from there to just buying Christmas presents and getting other people to buy Christmas presents. You know, just filling little needs that I don't know, it was kind of cool, and it was kind of. And I tell you the truth, people really like helping foster kids. They just don't know how.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it's like nobody's asked them. They think if they come help that they automatically got to foster them.
Yeah.
And there's so many more needs, and that's kind of what we did for a long time, was just jump into some of those littler needs. And then of course it you know.
Well, just last week, New Life Church in Bryant helped lay grass at our girls' pregnancy center. Our guys were laying grass over at Smithers at our new foster home that we weren't able to get grass due to all the rain in 2023. And not too long ago, Geyer Springs Baptist came out and helped build a playground. So several years ago, Boy Scouts came out and helped build a room addition. So there's a lot of things to do that may not be directly involved with having a child over or taking a child to lunch. Sometimes one of our senior citizens class, we call them teenagers, they'll just take all of our a whole house, which is usually 6 kids plus foster parents and their children, and they'll take them out for pizza on a Sunday afternoon.
Right.
Pretty cool.
Absolutely.
A lot of opportunities. How's that impacted you and Candy, your girls, your family?
Well, I mean, it's my oldest daughter is now a social worker and is truly implementing trauma therapy into school districts.
Is her husband a coach?
Mm-hmm.
Where at?
PA.
At PA. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw a picture the other day.
My next daughter's a second grade teacher.
In Texarkana, Texas.
Yeah. So my next daughter, she's only 20. She's still flipping between teacher and nurse, but something in the middle there. I don't know what she'll be, but yeah, it's really. I mean, we didn't know at the time that it was doing anything, but you know, now all our kids want to do is help kids.
How has your restoration to faith affected not just you and Candy, but your kids? Because you just mentioned teachers, and one might be a teacher or a nurse, and the other's a social worker. That tells me that there's caring hearts somewhere in old crusty Ryan Feagin, the car dealer.
Sometimes. Sometimes. They, yeah, our kids, you know, we don't see it as well sometimes because, you know, we get to see both sides of them. You know, we get to see the selfish little girls we raised and all that stuff. But, you know, out in the world now, they're really trying to help kids. Yeah. So, you know, I think by doing the right things and loving God and putting God first and, you know, just doing what God says, now our kids are doing what God says.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's really the key to life is discovering your gift, developing your gift, and then spending the rest of your life giving it away. And we see that how God has literally transformed not just my life, but your life. And in spite of the fact that both you and I wasted years of our life, that He is the God who restores what the devil has stolen, and He receives all the honor and glory for that. We're going to take a brief break. We're going to be back with Ryan, and we're going to share again how you can get involved in the ministry of Second Chance Youth Ranch and changing lives one heart at a time.
Well, we just like play.
We like to hang out together.
Playing tag, hanging out. Yeah, sometimes we play hide and seek. Hide and seek, tag.
And we also play Barbie.
No, because we didn't ever have Barbies.
So, I had Barbies.
You have Barbies, but we didn't.
So...
My name is Randy, I'm 9.
My name is Suzette and I'm 10.
My name is Lucy, I'm 9.
My name's Cassie and I'm 8.
I like to play outside and play with my toys. I like to be on my tablet. I like to play with my Barbies.
I like to play on my TT's phone, and I like to go outside and practice basketball.
I like to go outside and practice gymnastics and basketball.
Well, what I like about Randy is that he's actually really strong. He did boxing. What I like about Lucy is that she's pretty and she's not that sassy. What I like about Cassidy is that she's really pretty too, and she is really pretty.
What I love about Cassie, she's sweet and kind and pretty. And I like the same thing to Suzette and Lucy, they're the same.
What I like about Lucy, she's so caring, kind, and beautiful. What I like about Randy is he's really kind, handsome, and sweet to me. And I like about Suzette is she's the oldest and she always is caring for us all. And she loves us.
What I like about Randy, he kind, he brave, and he's strong. What I like about Suzette, she pretty, she care, she kind, and she care about us, and she loves us. What I like about Cassidy, she the youngest, and she beautiful, and she's sweet and calm.
We talked about the reason we're doing this is we want to find a family to adopt all of you together. Is that something that you want?
Yes.
So can you tell me why you want to be together?
Well, because they're my siblings, and I mean, like, I'm not gonna be able to see the rest of my family. So I mean, like, it would be really great to at least see them.
What are some things you'd want to do all together and with your family?
Go eat out, play games, go on trips.
Watch a movie and eat popcorn with all of them. Play some board games, and then we read books, and we do a little camp out.
I would play outside, go camping, go to eat out, go to stores. I want to go camp out, eat, and go out to watch movies.
How do you think your life would be different if you got adopted together?
Well, I mean, like, we would have somebody else to care for us.
Hey, welcome back to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. On this show, we always try to work in a video, give you the opportunity to actually see and hear from some of the foster children, not just in our care, but in the foster system in Arkansas. We're so thankful for Project Zero and all the great work they do, the call, the great work they do, and all the foster care agencies and the foster parents around the state of Arkansas. Ryan, we have seen in the years that we've been involved in Second Chance Youth Ranch in the foster care ministry since 2005, our first young man came to us. We have seen God just do wonderful things, and now with all that's happening in the foster care system, at one point we were over 5,000 children in foster care. Now we're under 4,000, somewhere between 3,500 and 3,700, and that fluctuates. And there's a lot of opportunities for you. My mother, from childhood, wanted to be a foster parent. And when I was in the year I turned 7, we become a foster family. Then my parents divorced, and my family moved to Methodist Children's Home. So I've had the unique experience of not only being a foster home, but living in a group home called Methodist Children's Home at 20th Fillmore in Little Rock. So, and it really impacted my life. I wanted to become a social worker like your daughter, Shelby. And when I got born again, the Lord just said, you know what, we're going to take it a little bit different direction. And I'm kind of now in the social work ministry, But it's really about the change of heart. You've experienced that. I've experienced that. It's impacted your whole family. What would you say to folks that are watching? Because so many people say, well, there's just nothing that I can do. I mean, I'm a single lady, or I am on a fixed income, or I'm not wealthy, or whatever excuses that we make, usually based on the unknown. What have you discovered being involved in the ranch?
I would say that it doesn't matter what your gift is. It doesn't matter what you do. They're kids. They need everything. They need somebody to cut their hair. They need somebody to teach them how to fish. They need somebody to be their friend. They need somebody to take them to buy school clothes. They're kids. They need stuff, and it doesn't have to be a big. You don't have to be certified foster kid parent to love a kid or take them shopping or buy them a Christmas present or just be their friend. You know what I mean? You don't have to have any money to be somebody's friend.
Yeah.
And they need the crazy aunt and uncle. They need mom and dads. They need friends. They need a lot of healthy people pouring in their life because they probably, obviously if they're in foster care, they haven't had that.
Yeah, we currently have 64 foster children. I got a picture last night. I was at the Planning Commission in the city of Bryant working on a new building project at the church for our school. And while I'm there on my phone, Billy sends me a picture of, I think it was 3, could have been 4, I think it was 3 brand new foster children that moved in literally yesterday. And I'm like, that is so awesome. And I'm moved by the opportunities and to see these children come into a home that we've decorated literally. Rachel and her crew, they'll literally find out the interest of the children that are coming and decorate their bedrooms. If they like puppies, they'll have pictures of puppies on the wall, and they'll have puppy pillows. So there's so many things a person can do.
Absolutely. And it's the Bible says to do it. It's not, and it's one of those scriptures that's not real. You can't read it any other way. It says, "Take care of orphans and widows." Yeah. It's obedience.
Nothing controversial about that.
Doesn't matter your doctrine. Yeah. It just says, "Take care of orphans and widows."
We're not arguing over the doctrinal opinions and differences. It's just suffer the children to come. He didn't say allow the children to suffer. He said allow them to come. And I think the point that you made in the earlier segment, that you came to the church, family church in Bryant, and Billy just befriended you. And that's what we're saying the children need. They need someone who just says, hey, in spite of what's going on in your life, we love you. We want to help you.
And they're not, and I'll tell you the truth too, a lot of people I think are a little fearful of foster kids. They're great kids.
Yeah.
They're absolutely great kids. I mean, they're just like my kids. I mean, they will lie and they will manipulate.
Yeah,
you
mentioned selfish.
Yeah, yeah, they're still kids at the end of the day, but they're great kids.
Yeah.
And their personalities, you know, honestly, kids are like people. Some of them you like and some of them you don't. And I've never met one of these foster kids I don't like. They all got a little, they got personality, and they're great kids. I mean, they're fun to hang out with. Yeah.
Yeah, ministering to kids. I think John Osteen wrote a book many years ago called The Divine Flow. And he said, and that's what you're experiencing, that whenever you're doing what God's really called you to do or spoke to you to do, that still small voice, that when you do that, something supernaturally begins to flow through you, and you don't even realize it until you've completed what He's put on your heart. And then as that lifts, you go, wow, that's the divine flow. I experience that when I preach. I mean, I allow the divine flow, and it might take 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours on a Sunday morning where that presence of God lifts off of me, and then I return to just being Perry, the normal guy, and I go, man, I'm tired. But when I was in the divine flow, I could have done that for a couple hours.
Yeah. Well, and,
so it's God's grace enabling.
Yeah, and it's a blessing. Yeah. It's a blessing. At the end of the day, every time I hang out with any of those kids, it's better for me than it was for them.
Yeah.
It really is. It just is. It's a blessing to do what God says.
So God has transformed your life.
Yes.
Candy's life. He's restored your love for Him. He never quit loving you. But so we've got a little over a minute. Why don't you just look at camera 2 and just tell somebody how they can experience the saving grace of Jesus Christ?
You give it to Him. You accept His word for what it is, and you obey it. You believe it, and then He'll show it to you. He blesses your obedience, and I think that's what we're really talking about, is being obedient to Christ and the benefits that come from that. And one of the things He says is to take care of those kids.
Yeah.
So, in any way, shape, or form that you can, we're supposed to take care of these kids. And I think the biggest thing that everybody can do is just ask people to help them. Yeah. Ask people. There's so many people out there that want to help these kids.
They just need to know. Where can they make the connection?
Yeah. All you got to do is ask.
Yeah.
Rachel says, how do you get people to help the ranch all the time? And I said, I ask them.
Yeah.
That's all I do is I ask them. Yeah. People love kids, and they want to help them, especially people who love God.
Yeah.
And if you want a Christian community, do Christian things.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're talking about here.
God committed His love to us while we were yet sinners. If you don't know Jesus, do what we did. Just simply stop and say, Jesus, I'm a sinner. Come into my heart and save me. I'll give you the rest of my life, and watch what He'll do. We'll see you next week right here at Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. Bye-bye.